the shiver climb. Oh, the clock strikes terror. Right on time, it's Friday night, mama. Friday night lives, talking horror and drama. It's Friday night, mama. Oh yeah, Friday night lives. Friday night lives.
Welcome to Friday Night Lives. Bulls. It's a somber edition of this show, and there's just no way to get around that fact. A lot has happened in the past 24 hours, really. And unfortunately, a lot of people that we really look up to in the entertainment world have passed away. And I can't really remember, short of, the combination of Ozzy and Hogan dying pretty close together there. Like, I mean, this is bad. It's been a bad day. Let's just say that.
Yep. Yeah.
But for those of y'all that are just coming in here, we're going to talk about all this shortly. This is basically just going to be like a regular show. Just a question answer kind of show. You put it whatever you want into the chat, and we're going to be talking about all these guys that passed away today, and mostly try to talk about their films and kind of go through a list of their films. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been depressing.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to try to make chicken salad out of chicken shit if we can. We got a bunch of new people in here that I haven't seen before. Maverick 77 Defender.
Good guy.
On 5. We got Kyle Steven Seagal fan 2000. He's one of the last ones left. We got some regulars too, like Alex Sanchez, and got Bog Zombie. We got Preston, Mortal Nightmare, Jostradamus, Chaz, Matter Pat. This one is new to me too. Black Desert Snake. Trapper Keeper is not. Manny's in here. And let's see. Daltonio?
Dalton. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was, I guess Daltonio.
Yeah.
It was like Dalton, like Patrick Swayze.
Fat Pig the Conqueror, Tales from the Video Store.
So Steven Seagal. Fat Pig the Conqueror.
Look, that's mean.
He's fat, he's big, and he conquered donuts.
I agree with you, Nick. Like, that theme has forever been stuck in my head since I was a kid.
Sylvester. Mm-hmm. Did Back to the Future.
All right. So I guess we'll just get right into it, boys. This is a day of mourning for a lot of people.
Yeah.
First thing that I heard actually was this morning. I don't know if this happened today or yesterday, honestly, but like I just heard about it this morning. Jamie Blanks, Australian director of Urban Legend, which is my favorite of those Scream era knockoff kind of movies. I think it's an excellent movie with a great kind of like setup, great kind of premise that everything in it is like a different urban legend, and it's got a really good cast too if you think about it. Rebecca Gayheart, Jared Leto. I always forget the redhead chick's name.
Alicia Witt.
Alicia Witt, yeah, all great.
He was supposed to do I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Before they bumped him, and then they got Jim Gillespie instead. And that was a interesting story how he kind of was going about getting the job. He had cut together a fake trailer spent like $3,000 of his own money, and him and his friends made like all the best scenes and stuff for the movie, and that got him the job for Urban Legend ultimately. But he had cut it together so he could get the job to work on Know What You Did Last Summer. But it all worked out. That's the bet. He did the better movie anyway.
I think so. I really do. Like, I much prefer Urban Legend over I Know What You Did Last Summer, to be honest.
Same here.
I agree, but why? Like, I mean, I agree with you, but what makes Urban Legend different?
Okay, for me, it's just that I Know What You Did Last Summer is very boring. It was not very boring, but it's boring to me. The cast is very generic. And although like they're pretty much all known to some degree or another, they're just very vanilla. And the kills are vanilla. And the killer fucking is an awful idea. Really.
It's a very safe, even for that time, slasher movie.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
I mean, the one thing that it had going for it was it had that stupid ass idea of like, the note that says, I know what you did last summer. Just kind of fun. But other than that, like
That was a song. Na 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 na.
That's great.
Whoosh, whoosh.
And then old Jennifer Love Huge is just spinning around in a circle. What are you waiting for?
Stop getting dizzy from spinning.
But I just never connected that much with that movie. Much more so with Urban Legend because it's more kind of violent. First of all, it's got a cooler premise, which is that every kill is like an urban legend, which is like,
right.
And you've heard of all these urban legends too, so it's not like they're obscure.
Yeah, they did all the classic ones that most people know. Yeah.
And it's got Danielle Harris dressed up as a goth girl getting banged and then getting mad at Alicia Witt for busting in on her.
Right.
She's bipolar in it, which, well, I'm not going to say anything. Probably get sued.
Yeah.
Realistic.
No, well, let's say it, Rambo. No, she's bipolar in the film.
So it's realistic.
She's taking lithium.
Might be based on fat.
No, I'm not saying that. Allegedly.
No, yeah, it's alleged.
Yeah, it's alleged. Here's another interesting fact about him, though, is that he also directed Valentine, which I know is Rambo's favorite film.
No. I'm sorry he passed away. I too like Urban Legend. Valentine. Everyone makes a bad movie. That was a pretty bad movie.
Here's what's weird about that, though. I actually watched that movie like about a week ago. Just out of the blue. I don't know why. I just decided to watch it. And that may have been what killed him. No, I'm just kidding. No, that
Jeez.
Mark.
I was expecting that to go somewhere else. I don't know why. I should have known.
Voodoo spell.
It opened up some sort of rift and like somebody's watching Valentine. No, I mean, look, it's a slasher film. It exists. Unfortunately for that film, David Boreanaz is in it. If he hadn't been in it, we might not be having a different conversation, but he is, and he's just awful, man.
Yeah, I mean, you have such a nice looking cast. I mean, that's one of the things that it gets right. It's nice looking women in it. There's no nudity, little to no blood, very basic effects when people do get killed. Nothing super creative about it. The looker of killer is whatever.
The Cupid.
Right, the Cupid mask.
He looks like the Campbell Soup kid.
I never put that together.
You don't remember the Campbell Soup kid?
I remember.
Yeah.
He looks like it'll kill you for soup.
He's gonna figure the alphabet soup killer. Yeah, there you go.
Is it the alphabet
Right.
killer? So now you got
Alphabet soup killer.
one step closer.
He like spells shit out in your soup, like die right before he
He
kills you.
makes you bleed in your soup, and then the
Yeah.
bloody soup. He puts the letters.
Yep.
Clues for the detectives.
He's like a Starbucks barista, but with fucking blood.
Detectives, Brawny Man, and
It's got the classic slasher like trope opening though, you know. But
Yeah.
there's nothing very memorable about it. I mean, like I said, the women are the only thing that people remember. I would think there's no
that
crazy
opening
cool set
dog
pieces
shit
or anything.
too, though. That opening.
But look, I
she hid
that,
in a fucking body bag.
well, the main opening of Valentine is the Slaughter High opening. It's
That's the
basically
part I'm talking about.
it's basically a direct
this-
ripoff.
Exactly. The setup for the killer is what's classic.
The
Not
little
the Katherine Heigl bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Katherine Heigl, that was the best part of the movie right there. She gets killed
She
within
gets killed.
10 minutes.
Right.
I was
Well, there
thinking
you
I was going to have to sit through Katherine Heigl through a whole movie, but that was good. He also directed a movie that a lot of people talk about. I have not seen it, but it's Storm Warning. A lot of people kind of praise that movie as being an unknown.
Haven't seen it.
I like the film. It definitely surprised the hell out of me because it was one of those, I think, Dimension Extreme titles. And that's where I first saw it.
It was.
On DVD way back in the day. And it surprised me just because so many of those movies were, bad or just incredibly mediocre. And this one just stood out because it's a couple fighting for survival in a remote location kind of horror film. And the payoff in the third act is pretty cool and fun, and there's tension throughout. It's got enough thrilling moments where it's definitely worth a watch.
Who stars in it?
They're somewhat unknowns, I'd say.
Oh, I keep thinking of another movie that stars Luke Perry that has a storm in it. So I thought it was like that when I first, but I guess not.
No, definitely not.
I'm like, is that the one with Luke Perry's? Like, no, that's a different movie.
This fucking quote for some reason. Do you remember this movie? Kentucky Fried Movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Send him to Detroit. He like starts freaking out.
I haven't seen that in forever.
He like cuts the one guy's head off and like kills the other guy. And then he gets that guy and he's like, send him to Detroit. He starts freaking out. Oh, that's a great movie. I love that movie. Okay. 54 years old, by the way, which is incredibly young. I don't know what happened. I couldn't find any information. I didn't really dig into it that much because I don't think it's that pertinent, but like that's very young to just pass away.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Jamie Blanks. And then I guess like the next one I heard about, which or right around the same time probably, was Nicholas Brennan, who most everybody would know as Xavier from Buffy.
Xander, right?
Xander. Did I say Xavier? What the fuck? Yeah. Xander from Buffy, which honestly, I don't know that much more stuff that he did.
He did a few like sci-fi channel type of movies, some little known stuff, but 98% are just trying to think of Buffy. I mean, Buffy alone, which is ironic because they did a Buffy reboot pilot that was so bad, Hulu said, no, we don't want it. So yeah, the Buffy pilot got rejected.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't Sarah Michelle Gellar make an announcement about that or something where she was talking about it getting rejected?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, we're going to try to put it somewhere else. Don't try to find it, like if steal it or upload it somewhere or something if it gets out. Don't read any scripts for it. But I like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show. For those who were here when we talked about horror TV shows, we did briefly talk about it in that. Mm-hmm. That's a show that I did not watch when it came out. I watched it in reruns when it was on. I want to say if it wasn't Sci-Fi Channel, it was somewhere else where it was every day after school. It was that and a few other TV shows I would watch. And because it was on every day, I was able to get through the seasons in a matter of months. But it's a very cleverly written show, and the actors did their jobs well. And some of these actors, I don't necessarily like them in other stuff, but I thought, despite Joss Whedon, however you want to think of him nowadays, there was some talent involved. And
Yeah, I mean, that was prime era Josh Whedon. That wasn't like new bullshit, superhero Josh Whedon. That was back when he was actually like at the top of his game, writing wise. That show like really straddled the line between being goofy and comedic, but also being really like dramatic and dealing with death and actually killing people off and like main characters and doing shit that like Stranger Things should have done but fucking pussied out about. That kind of thing. Basically, that show was what Stranger Things wanted to be in all ways.
Fuck Stranger Things, right?
Dude, you have any idea like how annoying it is to watch a show for that many seasons and then get to the end of it? It just be complete bullshit for a whole season.
You're going to get that box set, UB.
No, I guarantee you I'll never get that.
I didn't watch the finale of Stranger Things, but I heard nobody being happy.
No. But with Buffy was weird because and people gave me shit back then and probably still will for, watching Buffy and liking it and everything. But truthfully, it was like, it wasn't really one thing. It was comedy sometimes, it was horror sometimes, it was kind of a mixture sometimes. And it was there's a musical episode of it. There was it just ran the gauntlet of all kinds of different.
Yeah, there was an episode where there was no dialogue. There was
hush.
It tried to be creative, and it was creative a lot of the time. So, Well, what age did you watch Buffy? If you go around age,
I was like, I would have been. Well, when did it come out? It seems like I would have been 16, 17.
I mean, that's the age to watch it, so I don't know why people were giving you crap about it. Like, what were they saying? Like, what?
Well, I guess it's just not. It's the same thing that people say when I tell them that I like Megan. It's like,
I think maybe it was like 97.
Yeah, 1997 to 2003.
So I would have been 16 or 17. Yeah. There's just some things that people, and some people will never like certain types of films, like no matter what, or certain types of shows. But man, that era, that's the same era as the X-Files, by the way, roughly around that same era. And I mean, there were so many good shows on at that time. When you look back at TV at that time,
yeah, Pauly Shore show.
Was that a real show? Did that actually?
It lasted like one episode, and it got canceled.
That's about how many episodes it needed to last.
Pauly, I think it was called Pauly.
Was that on like MTV?
Like Fox or something?
Okay, I think he had something on MTV as well. I remember him being on there.
But yeah, totally Pauly. That's how he got into Insane.
That's okay.
But yeah, it was like a show called Pauly. One episode, I think. So.
Jeez.
I think what was the other show around that time? It was like a sci-fi show that was really popular. Was Firefly on at that time?
That sounds about right. I don't remember what year though.
I just feel like there was a lot of shows like that.
Sliders was one.
Sliders, yeah. Let's see, I'll look it up. But anyway, it was a good time for TV shows. So Firefly was 2002, so that comes a little bit later.
Fuck Sliders.
You don't like hamburgers?
The first season was okay, and then that, if you want to talk about a show that just completely
dropped off, yeah.
Yeah, that not to get off tangent, but that's a show that just had It didn't jump off a cliff. It jumped off a moon.
Yeah.
Went to the other side of the fucking galaxy. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
So Nicholas Brendan, who I also believe was in his 50s. I'm trying to remember how old exactly he was.
Yeah, 54 or 56.
Dude, like, he died of natural causes too. I did see that, and I was like, that's rough. I mean, that's very young to die of natural cause.
Yeah, that's
54.
very bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know he had a lot of issues, substance abuse issues throughout the years. I think around that time he was taking like meditation and stuff as well. So
Yeah,
I know
he
he
had
came out-
that heart defect, I think,
Mm.
too. That might have been a contributing factor.
yeah.
And then the one that we're all sitting here, we were talking about this before the show went on, and this guy is just like an institution, man, in and of himself. One of the most well-known action stars to ever exist, and somebody that's a staple, I think, probably for all of our childhoods, definitely for mine anyway. Chuck Norris passed away, and dude, I was just like, that's one of those ones like Hogan or somebody, where it's like, it's just that guy's an icon.
Mhm.
So many movies he is that I've seen over the years and liked, and we're gonna go through them. But
Somebody already jumped the gun and mentioned Zombie Plane. Yeah, that is going to be his official last movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday he was in the hospital in Hawaii. They said he was getting better. And Mark and I were actually talking before the show where I just individually we had the same thought where I don't know, maybe we both have that cynical brain that sadly realistic but cynical brain where it's like, okay, they're saying he's getting better, but I have just this thought, this depressing thought, something bad's going to happen, and then woke up today, did some stuff, opened up my phone on Facebook. I got like 8 messages. I'm like, oh no, I don't usually get that many. Either more than likely it's just someone passed, and then lo and behold, and I'm like, oh man. And it's been a bummer of a day. I mean, I've been bummed the whole day. For those interested, I did do a video on my channel about it. But I mean, it's a reflection of mortality. It's a reflection of the times where there's another thing we talked about before where, whatever genre you're in, 80s, 70s, the 90s, as they're getting older, you see them leave this place more and more so. As a guy whose number one genre was action, this is one of the first early action guys who were action heroes I grew up with. That watched for escapism and entertainment. The Stallone, the Van Damme, Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren, etc. And this was the first for me that passed away, and it was a bit fucking bummer. It still is. Because he seemed like a very nice guy. You heard nothing bad about the guy. He seemed like a genuine good soul. I liked a lot of his movies. Yes, as an actor, he was not Gene Hackman. He was not Al Pacino. We all know that.
No.
But for me, what I liked Chuck Norris was good as playing Chuck Norris. I liked his stoicism. I liked his presence. Man, a few words. Good at martial arts. And how people view him as an actor, you can't teach presence. I think the guy had presence that carried him as a movie star. I did not watch much of his TV show, but I had to look back, and I'm looking over here because I have some of his movies over here that I still love a lot of his movies. Are they all flawless? No, of course not. But a lot of them are fun, entertaining, escapism for different reasons. Doesn't mean every film was great, but honestly, his filmography, there's a lot of his films I do quite like.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a
Me
guy
too.
that, yeah, he did his TV show, but he kind of knew when to quit and retired and had a good last shelf of his life. I mean, yeah, he came out and made a handful, but it's not like these other guys like Steven Seagal who made like 7 movies in 1
Jesus.
year and
Like
gets more
70 movies.
embarrassed.
Yeah, he's like sitting down in all of them too.
Yeah. And this guy is a legend, is an icon. Always will be, forever be. So it's just repeat myself, one big bummer. Fucking sucks.
Yeah, he's a part of a breed of action star that doesn't exist or barely exists anymore. Won't be another Chuck Norris.
No.
Yeah, and he was a man's man, like action star. I don't know how else to say it. Like you said, he exuded a certain aura and stoicism that somehow translated into a charisma that was very unique, and he pulled it off. And you say you didn't watch his TV show. I'm assuming you were talking about Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker, like I know of the show. I've seen many of the clips that were on Conan O'Brien and stuff.
Yeah.
Haley Joel Osment. I got AIDS, I think he says, or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Walker
right.
said I had AIDS.
Yeah.
I remember those clips, but I never watched the show. Just more as movies.
I mean, for me personally, I mean, I grew up watching that show, not religiously, but whenever it was on, I would sit down and, check out a few episodes. And it doesn't really hold up. And to be honest, even back then it was very camp, but it was fun. That sort of 90s TV action style, I just like, because that's what I grew up with, and very, very nostalgic for me. They even did a Walker TV movie as well, 9 seasons. So it was a very successful run in the show. And his films as well. I grew up on Sidekicks. That's one of my favorites of his. Always loved that one. I mean,
I was just talking about that one before. Yeah. Like that was one that I just always vibed with, because it's got the idea of the kid who's kind of like the introvert that has this really rich like imagination, and he keeps like either that or he's schizophrenic. I don't know which, but he keeps having like these like hallucinations about Chuck Norris, being like his buddy or whatever. And
well, isn't it like he's literally talking to someone that's not there on the rope?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of daydreaming kind of thing. Yeah.
So I mean,
he'd be meditated.
Yeah, you can take that for however you want, but yeah.
This fucker's crazy. He's talking to the air.
Yeah. The one that resonates with me from my childhood, though, is Delta Force. And I don't know why that is, but that one was just so all over the place at that time when I was growing up that like you had to, every kid had to be like a part of that in some way or another. Like that idea, like of having a team that just went in and, you were like this mercenary team and just kicked everybody's ass. So I was telling Rambo before this, like there's a scene in that movie where he's got like a dune buggy or whatever, and he's riding around in it, and I used to like have a go-kart, and I would just pretend that was the same thing and like drive around and fake shoot people and shit. But Delta Force, I probably watched that movie 100 times when I was a kid, at least. And that was my first real introduction into like who Chuck Norris was. And from there, I mean, there's so many good films to talk about. I agree with what you guys are saying too about he's not a good actor. I mean, he's very wooden. He's very, he took like an acting style like Charles Bronson, kind of same presence, but he did have like a real charisma about him, and he was a good martial artist, probably like one of the best martial artists we'll actually talk about on here too.
Do you guys know like the origin of the Chuck Norris jokes? Do you guys know how that ever started?
Mm.
Okay.
I mean, I don't remember
either.
when they were popping up, but the actual origin, I don't know.
I've always been curious about that. I remember years and years ago, there was an app that you could get, and it was all Chuck Norris jokes. It was like a database of just Chuck Norris jokes.
I
So
remember that. Yeah,
you could just contribute your own, or you could just read what's on there. But yeah, and people have been posting some of the best, just sort of in remembrance, because I know he was fond of the jokes. He did like them. So I've been seeing so many on social media.
So I figure what we'll do is just talk about some of these movies. I think we need like a visual aid for these, I think. So I'm going to just pull up the posters probably and just kind of like talk about them that way.
Okay.
This will be cool too, because you guys won't know what's coming. I'll just mix it up. And you kind of tell me like your impressions of these films.
Of course.
So we will start off with one of my personal favorites. And I'm curious because I don't know if we've really talked about this movie a lot. But let's bring this one up. What are you guys' thoughts about The Octagon?
That's funny. The first time I saw that was actually when I worked at a video store called Mr. Movies, and it wasn't even a DVD case. It was literally just like a piece of paper slip that they put the disc in. And it was like $2. I'm like, okay, I'll check this out for $2. And I think that's the one where there's like this weird narration echo thing. Like he's narrating, has this echo effect that's really annoying. But the third act, he gets to fight a bunch of ninjas.
Yep.
And that's pretty fun. And the ending kind of reminds me of what they would do in American Ninja, where it's like this compound with all these ninjas and he's fighting everybody and stuff. Out of his early ones, there's fun to be had there. I think Lee Van Cleef was in it as well.
He is. I was going to mention that. Yeah. It's not one I revisit often, but like he said, like the third act, there's some fun stuff. I didn't grow up with it. It's okay. Yeah, it's a lot like slipping my mind right now. Way of the Dragon. Like
yeah, it is that kind of setup.
Like I that's another one like I didn't grow up with. It's fine. I appreciate it, but I don't ever really go back to it too much.
Look, we're going to have a conversation about Way of the Dragon here shortly. Trust me.
Okay.
Great movie. This is okay.
I like it because it's like you said, like the ninja, the whole it's a martial arts film, really, and where he just kicks the shit out of a bunch of ninjas, and I always appreciated that for an 80s film. Let's see. So the next one to talk about is let's go some of the early ones first.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. That cover is just awful, so I'm going to skip that one. Some of these covers are pretty bad. Okay. I always remembered this cover more than I actually remembered the film. And this one is one I haven't seen a lot, but I remember that he is a cop in this one. Code of Silence.
Yeah, this is one that the critics liked a bit more than some of his others because the director of this would go on to direct The Fugitive, Under Siege.
Andrew Davis, yeah.
And this is a pretty good one. It's one that's, I think early on critics thought was the better made film. There's a little bit of, he's dealing with some corrupt cops, but he's also dealing with some bad guys. I remember he has this big, not a drone, but this big machine that's like remote control that he uses to help blow up the bad guys. And in order to save this girl. It's a fun movie. It's not one of my favorites, but I do remember liking it.
Yeah, it's I think it's set in Uptown.
Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago in Uptown. and it definitely has a bit of a neo-noir thriller vibe to it. It kind of feels like a bit of a Dirty Harry ripoff in a way.
That's exactly what I thought of too.
So it works. It's fine. This is another one I don't revisit too often. But I do like quite a few people in the cast, like Dennis Farina's in there, and it's okay. I like Missing in Action more though, which was around this time.
All right. Well, let's go to one that I think we all have pretty good memories of. Silent Rage.
Yeah, definitely.
Jesus, man. Just the idea of this movie. Did Rambo die? What happened? We didn't lose 4.
Oh, he stepped away for a second.
Okay.
I think.
The idea of this movie I always loved. So you had like a Halloween Michael Myers kind of dude with a cop, like a super cop.
Right.
So it was that kind of counterbalance. It was like a slasher film meets like a martial arts cop film, and always loved this movie. Love the guy. You probably know his name, Mark, who played the killer too.
I have that one. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian Libby played the killer.
There you go. Yeah, he was. Always thought he was really good.
This is one of my. This is definitely in my top 5 favorite Chuck Norris films. I know a lot of people say the similar thing, but it always remind me of him fighting Michael Myers.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Yeah.
Okay, so I was away for a bit. I had to get something, but I like when action heroes delve into more of either a thriller, horror, sci-fi realm that's outside of the norm. Especially, it's a little bit more horror compared to a lot of his other movies. And I mean, it's more like a Frankenstein monster type of tale because it's not any slasher or anything, but
it's the best of the 3. Well,
yeah,
we were talking a little. Yeah, we were talking a little earlier.
Yeah, it's the best of the 3.
Yeah, I think. This one just has such a fun, unique feel to it. Like for that time, he definitely wasn't doing anything like this movie.
No.
And Ron Silver's
in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
shows up and he's.
I don't know why, but he shows up. Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the doctors. Stephen First from Animal House. He's the deputy. Yepson has a good atmosphere at the beginning. I think it has a really good musical score where in the killer, he's like, I'm losing it. And he just goes crazy. And Chuck Norris has to stop him. And then the experiments that happen. Has a good bar brawl. They get to see some of Chuck Norris's martial arts tendencies. And then the second half, to the third act, plays like Halloween 2 in a hospital. And I've seen people do edits where they take Halloween 2, they take this film, and they put them together. And it worked pretty well. But it was cool to see him like take on an unstoppable killer. And let's roll for a sequel. And I would say if there's one Chuck Norris film I would like to have seen a sequel, would have been this one in the 80s. Like the late 80s, the Silent Rage 2. I think that would have been cool to see.
It had a cool premise, which is like the indestructible killer versus the super cop.
Yeah, that tagline. Science created him. Now Chuck Norris must destroy him.
Yeah, which he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Hogan versus Andre Bulls. It would have been a great sequel. So we got a super chat though. Jamarl wants to know, what is Chuck's best acting? He says, I think Missing in Action 2 or Code of Silence. That's a good question.
I mean, my favorite role of his we'll get to is Firewalker, just because he got to show a different side of banter. Louis Gossett Jr., humor. Got to play a different type of role. So I thought that was refreshing to see. As one of the reasons why I like the film so much.
Yeah.
So for me, it'd be that. But of those two, I'll probably go Missing in Action 2, which I always liked.
Oh, is he just he's saying I think Missing Action 2 or Code. So I was thinking just any Chuck Norris movie. So for me, for some reason, when I think about like all of his films and the one that's like the most memorable in terms of like lines and his acting, it's Invasion USA.
Of course.
Yeah, I could see that. If I had to pick of the two he had listed, I'd say MIA 2. Trying to think of of the other films. This was his best acting. I don't know. That's kind of a tough one. I do like Firewalker though. That, like you mentioned, that was a turn in a direction nobody could have predicted for him. A lot of the comedy bits I do like. I don't know if I'd say that's his best acting though. I don't know.
But look, we need you to pick immediately. And I want you to rank his acting performances while we're at it.
I'll get right on that.
Preston has an interesting question. Uncle Bill, random question. It is very random considering we're talking about Chuck Norris. What is it like in Kentucky? I'm interested in going to Kentucky for tourists. My style of Texas cowboys and Indians. What's it like in Kentucky? Depends on what part of Kentucky you go to, I guess. Like if you go to central Kentucky, it's just like a city. It's like any kind of metropolitan like area around Louisville and places like that. If you go to western or eastern Kentucky, it's a lot of mountains, a lot of rural areas, and fucking people that'll shoot you. So be careful. Good luck.
Right.
Deliverance.
Yeah, it's just like that. Let's see. Okay, what would be next? So Silent Rage is one of my top three or four Chuck Norris movies. We never talk about this one, so I'm curious what you guys think about this one. This is the Western. This is the Chuck Norris Western, really.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the big inspiration for Walker, Texas Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
I think him and the director had a falling out because the director thought he was going to get credit for Walker, Texas Ranger. Because I think it originally was supposed to be a Lone Wolf McQuade TV show, but then it became just Walker. Because, I mean, they're both Texas Rangers, among other similarities between each other.
I never even put that together. That's interesting.
But this one I always enjoyed. I mean, I like the Western motif, the whistling at the beginning, the was it the actor who was in Penitentiary? I forget the actor's name. He was the lead on Penitentiary. He's one of the like FBI agent or something.
Leon Kennedy.
Leon Kennedy.
Yeah, Leon Scott Kennedy.
Yeah. Isaac.
Oh, Leon Isaac Kennedy. Okay, sorry. Leon Isaac Kennedy. I like the guy who becomes his sidekick. He was the guy in Night of the Comet. I forget his name.
I wouldn't even know his name to tell you.
But for those who remember Night of the Comet, he's the guy who comes in that gets with the two girls and helps them out.
You know who I do remember from this movie, though, who I don't recall seeing in anything else except this and Friday the 13th, is Dana Kimmel.
That's right. Plays the daughter.
Yeah. But it's a really fun movie, though. It's like, it's just like a Western. He's got like a 44, I think. I mean, he's a Texas Ranger, so it's more of like a modern cop Western movie with
Yeah, him and his truck get buried, and he's got to get his truck out. And pretty badass scene. There's the showdown at the end.
David Carradine.
Now, granted, David Carradine couldn't fight for shit. So, like,
Yeah.
but it was. I mean, I remember hearing that Chuck Norris said that if Bruce Lee was alive, he wanted Bruce Lee to play that role because it'd be like he got the, Bruce Lee got the win, Way of the Dragon. So hey, you do the favors for me, like a wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That put him over.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome to see if that could have been, would have been an amazing rematch. I mean, that's what should have happened. Bruce Lee was with us, the rematch, but definitely one of the early films I saw that got me into Chuck Norris was Louisville McQuaid. Really decent film.
Mm-hmm. This is true, Justin. A lot of people don't remember this, but like, do you remember? I think it was the Undertaker. Like the Undertaker was in that match, and Chuck Norris was like a body. He wasn't a bodyguard, but he got called down to the ring for some reason in the middle of the match. I can't remember why.
Yeah, they gave him a certain title. I forget what it was.
Yeah. But he does have an actual wrestling connection now that I think about it.
Yeah.
So Lone Wolf McQuaid. And then let's see. Let's pick another kind of, I won't say it's obscure, but it's probably one of the lesser known ones from that from his filmography anyway. A lot of people like this one. I'm not positive that I've seen this movie in the past 20 years, to be honest. But this is The Hero and the Terror.
Definitely in the realm of being a thriller. Not quite horror like Sound Rage, but still has a little bit of element where the killer hides in this theater and likes to strangle and break necks of women.
And his name is the Terror.
Yeah, Simon Moon, though, which I thought was a good name for a villain. Simon Moon.
Simon Moon, yeah.
As the guy who was one of the villains in Superman 2. He was the big mute guy in Superman 2. Forget the actor's name, but definitely a big.
I know. Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, it was Terrence Stamp, the girl, and then the big guy. That's him, and big intimidating guy. I like the fact he was hiding in the theater, and I like the way they used the theater in the third act. Has a little bit like dark, your action hero going through dark corners, mystery element to it. It's definitely one of his more attempts at acting, where he met with Simon Moon before. There was a close call where he got lucky defeating the guy, so he doesn't like being called the hero because it was luck that he defeated him. So Simon Moon gets out of jail, and then
they think he's dead, right?
Yeah, they think because there's like a truck breakdown, it goes off a cliff, but he survived. So yeah, they think he's dead, but he knows he's still alive. Steve James, a guy who was in the American Ninja films and Avenging Force, he was in this one. Because he was in the Delta Force. He appeared in a few Chuck Norris movies.
Yeah,
he's not in it too long, but always nice to see Steve James. Like I said, I like this one, but it doesn't have much action, so it's not the most beloved film. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because there's very little action in the movie. Very little. And like I said, that's going to disappoint people. It's not going to be... I could see people find this boring. But again, I like it for the... Like I said before, I like when action heroes... Like a lot of people like me and Mark, we talked about ICU with Stallone. A lot of people at Uncle Bill, they find the film boring, which is understandable, but we like it because we're weird that way. We like action heroes telling those different venues. So I just see people find this boring. But
I mean, if you're coming off Silent Rage, don't expect it to be Silent Rage because it's totally not.
No.
Same thing goes for Hellbound. And even I like both of those, but I mean, I think Hellbound is a bit more supernatural because isn't it a demon or something?
Yeah, it's a demon.
Right. So yeah, this one a bit more practical in the fact that it is a serial killer that he's chasing down. But Yeah.
And
I
Billy
could see
Drago was
it.
actually in the film as well. Billy Drago.
Right. That's right. Yeah. And Ron O'Neal as
Yeah.
well.
All right. So, what about this? Is another poster that I always remember, and I'm curious what you guys think. Another movie I don't think we've ever talked about.
Mhm.
Force of One.
I remember when I first seriously I thought this was a sci-fi movie.
It looks like it would be, yeah.
I thought it was
Poster,
like Silent Running or Logan's Run or something.
Yeah. Well, it
Hmm.
also has Jennifer O'Neill in it, who was in Scanners. So fucking, you would think it was a sci-fi movie for sure.
And
And
Ron
then, like,
O'Neal again.
he hears the silence. I'm like, okay, this is like a sci-fi. And then I was disappointed
Yeah.
that this is a sci-fi movie. Like, this is a film I don't remember much about. I need to rewatch it again.
Hmm.
I think it's about a killer that goes after cops, and he knows
He-
martial arts.
So yeah, like
Yeah, he's targeted by like a killer, and I think he's supposed to join like this anti-narcotics police thing. And of course he's like a former karate champion or some shit like that. Yeah, it's another one I'm not that into. It's okay. This one was this a late 70s one? This one wasn't in the
79.
80s. Okay, 79.
and Clu Gulager's in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the cops.
He's like lieutenant in it, yeah.
Mhm.
So interesting thing about these movies too, because I haven't really been checking this, but like these movies made a lot of money, a lot of profit. Like for example, this movie, looking on here, has a budget of $2.5 million, roughly 2 to 3 million, and the box office was anywhere between 20 to 23 million. So
Man.
his movies were making quite a bit of money for
Yeah.
79.
Well, there's definitely was a demand starting in the 70s for martial art kung fu films of any sort, since so many theaters had an abundance of kung fu films that were poorly dubbed. And of course, then Bruce Lee, and that opened up a whole realm, and then people wanted to capitalize it. And Chuck Norris was one of the few that was able to succeed in that and have a lengthy career. There are a few people that tried, and they didn't last nearly as successful as Chuck. But yeah, that doesn't surprise me that they made a lot of money, those movies.
Yeah, it was a popular genre there for a while. That I mean, the action hero genre, not really anymore, but it was. I'm trying to see if there's any more.
Oh, come on. Yeah, new Spider-Man coming out.
Oh shit!
That's action, right?
Yeah.
Got the Punisher in it. PG-13. Tries to curse and gets his mouth webbed up.
I can't think of anything I'd least like to watch.
Heidi Gyllenhaal.
That's true. That Bride movie or whatever. That'd probably be.
Her Frankenstein movie or whatever the fuck.
Rather take an ass whipping than watch that. Here you go, Rambo. Put it over.
So we talked about this actually before we were on, just discussing briefly before the show. And actually, this is one of the ones I did watch recently, Firewalker. And it's my personal favorite. It did not do the best when it came out. It's definitely a lower budget version of Indiana Jones.
Definitely.
But I'm a sucker for those adventure movies, whether kids' films like The Goonies or Indiana Jones trilogy, among other films, looking for lost treasures, etc. I like the villain. It's Sonny Landham. Can't go wrong with Sonny Landham. I like
Hello.
the band. Yeah,
Chuck Norris, get your ass out here. I'll whip your damn.
Exactly. You got the girl from Flash Gordon. Get her, Melody Anderson, the 1980 Flash Gordon.
Yep.
You got Chuck and Louis Gossett Jr. Sadly, both of them have passed away. I like their back and forth with each other. Where the beginning, where they're just driving through the desert and they get tied up, and one like Louis Gossett Jr. starts getting ants in his pants, and he's like freaking out, and then Chuck has to break the glass and cut the ropes out, and just all the banter they have throughout is a lot of fun. Has a great fight sequence in a bar where Chuck Norris just kicks everybody's asses. And
you are right though. This may be the most fun Chuck Norris movie. Overall, it had like a buddy cop kind of vibe to it. I mean, I know they weren't cops, but I mean, it had that kind of vibe to it where they're like, they're friends giving each other shit throughout the whole thing. And like, it was one of the only ones where he was really doing anything like sarcastic kind of humor wise. Which I guess he thought didn't work because he never really did it again that I can think of. I mean, he did goofy ass humor like in Top Dog and shit like that, but not really like this.
And funny enough, this year's the anniversary of that film because it came out in 1986.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like that his character wasn't good with guns. He was only good with knives, and that made it a bit different. I like some of the lines where he's making fun of Louis Gossett Jr. He's like, "Stop being a dadgum sissy. Don't call me a sissy." Or before he starts to fight, he puts his gum and puts it in Louis Gossett Jr.'s hand. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And then after the fight, gives it to him. He's like, "Nah, I got a new piece of gum." It's like these little things as a kid that just I was attached to. And like you said, just a whole lot of fun. Just liking these two guys. Louis Gossett Jr. I knew of from The Punisher and Iron Eagle. Of course, Chuck from the films we're talking about. Sonny Landham I knew from Predator. So seeing all these people in the same film.
Major, there's something over in them damn trees. Over. I'm Sonny Landham. No, I'm sorry. I have to do that anytime anybody brings up Sonny Landham.
And of course, J. Lee Thompson, who did a lot of those later Charles Bronson films, like 10 to Midnight, I believe, and Murphy's Law and such. This is a canon film. So it's in that realm. A very competent director. Doesn't have as much action. Do wish it had a bigger budget like Indiana Jones. Speaking of which, John Rhys Davies, Sala himself, he's in the film, which is cool. So, like I said, very fun movie. Very enjoyable. And yeah, when I heard the news, this brought a smile to my face, and watch it again. Just as revisiting something from my childhood. So good memories, good times, and great poster as well. Sadly, nothing on the Blu-ray, not surprised. But yeah, underrated film in my opinion. Just fun escapism.
I was just talking about this. That I was reading this, and there's a quote in here, right? This is what Chuck Norris said about the movie. "Whether I do more lighter type films beyond this will be determined by how Firewalker does. The audience tells you what you'll be doing or not doing. Like Stallone, he'll never do Rhinestone again." So I guess because it was a flop, he was just like, "I'm never doing that again. Just keep being serious as shit." So
yeah, it got rejected from the public. They didn't really like what he did, how he acted, how goofy it was. They didn't think it was that good of a film. So for his eyes, he was listening to the audience, and he did, like you said, the more straightforward action films.
Yeah. I do know that was a bit of a point of contention with people around that time. Do you think it was too derivative of something like a Romancing the Stone or Raiders, or is that part of why you like it so much?
That's part why I like it so much, because I'm a sucker for those kind of movies. I mean, so many films can be derivative. It's just that was their take on it. I mean, Cobra, you just say it's derivative of Dirty Harry, but I love Stallone's take on Cobra. You just say Under Siege is derivative of Die Hard, but I like that different take on it. Or, I mean, when you look deep into it, anything could be derivative. Again, sadly, it didn't have the budget of Indiana Jones to have like bigger set pieces, but yeah.
I mean, man, so many films were ripping off Raiders of the Lost Ark that it, you know, you could, there's probably 20 of them. So I don't feel like, I don't feel like that was a bad thing. That's just kind of the way that movies happen. Like something big hits and then like a million films kind of copy the same.
Yeah.
formula. Yeah. But we got a super chat. Movie Junkie John says, it's funny how canon films always get a lot of shit, but they put out so many entertaining films. This, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Masters of the Universe, Over the Top. Yeah. I think we're all pretty big fans of canon.
I love canon.
Yeah.
Yeah, canon films, big fan. Big fan. And there were a few super chats before that as well. At least two. One from Bobby, one from Jammerall.
I feel bad for this poster. Chuck Norris was a super cool, down to earth person. My uncle got pics of them drinking Budweiser after their shooting. I feel like that he meant Budweiser.
Budweiser, yeah.
But Budweiser is, you know, whatever.
Don't drink the Budweiser.
No, the Budweiser is the worst.
That's Seagal's choice. He loves the Budweiser.
Budweiser. All right. So Firewalker, I agree with you. I need to go back and watch that one. That's one from my childhood that like I just didn't. I kind of forgot about it honestly, and need to go see that again.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's bring up one that I feel like that.
Oh, there were two super chats before that as well.
Well, Rainbow, I don't give a shit. I ain't here to cater to these motherfuckers and their super chats. Actually, that's all I'm here for.
The super chats.
Oh, is that right? Well, fuck it. We don't need that.
They're right. I care.
We don't need to get them.
I would if I can't click on them. Only you can.
I know. I'm not gonna click on them. Where in the hell are they? Seriously though, I can't find them.
They're above it.
Oh, it's Bobby.
Yeah, one's from Bobby. And one's from
miss,
General.
How'd I miss Bobby, boys? Hold on. CK smashed Fred from the Fred movie. CK told John the Zero Cool Cena, if he don't face CK and his son Fred will have more pain.
You haven't seen Fred the movie, I'm betting.
Lord no.
Thank God you haven't. He was an old YouTuber that was.
I remember him. That he talked with that really weird squeaky voice and shit. It's just I don't ever have any desire to see that movie.
I didn't know you even knew who he was.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm old as shit.
I saw that movie. One of the worst comedies ever.
Where's this other super chat? Because I'm missing it.
It's after Bobby's from Jamroll.
Oh, okay. I was going backwards then. It's from Jelly Roll. Is he in this chat?
Jamroll, not Jelly Roll.
I thought he was going to sing to us.
I hope not.
Thoughts on the actor Soon Tik O?
So for those who don't know, that is the main villain in Missing in Action 2 at the beginning. He's been in a few other films.
Colonel Braddock. That guy.
He worked well as a villain. He had a good fight at the end of Missing in Action 2. Definitely a character you love to hate. Definitely played a good, evil, bad guy in Missing in Action 2. And I always enjoyed him, but again, that's a film that's nostalgic to me. Like the first Missing in Action film.
Definitely.
I always remember him from Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh, yeah, he was the master.
Yeah.
Chris Farley's
his sensei. Yeah.
That's right.
So apparently we're
I like
have
that movie.
Yeah,
I know Chris Farley hated it, but I like that movie.
We're gonna have to fist fight about this one apparently, but here we go. Way of the Dragon.
Oh, you two. Okay, you two fist fight.
Look, Mark.
I didn't say I hated it.
You downplayed it though. You
I had the DVD of this when I had just gotten out of college and like I had like an apartment, really shitty apartment that was like literally 2 fucking rooms. And you know, you couldn't play music or anything or do anything because like the people right next door to you, like the walls were paper thin and they'd bang on shit and like give you all kinds of hell about whatever you did. But I had a DVD player. I didn't have cable or anything because I couldn't afford it at that time, and played the shit out of this movie, especially the final fight scene in the Coliseum with Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, which I still to this day think and a lot of people won't agree with this because it's slower paced than like the way they sped up a lot of fight scenes even then, and you know the '80s fight scenes and stuff like that. But I still think the choreography in that fight scene is like some of the best choreography and best cinematography for that matter
Mhm.
of any movie. And I like Way of the Dragon more than I do Enter the Dragon, to be honest.
Interesting. Was that wasn't one where he did the fight choreography, was it? Because I
I
know
think he did.
Norris did a lot of them, more so like in the, I think like the early to late 70s, but I don't know. I'll have to look that up.
I think it was Bruce Lee. I think because he directed the film.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Probably.
So how come you hated?
Yes. How come you hate it?
Never said I hated it.
Let's get right down to it.
It's nothing to hate.
Come on, it's supposed to be a fight, Mark. Defend your opinion.
Defend your honor.
I said I liked the movie. I don't know what you want
Uncle
to
Bill
say.
says you fucked up. What don't you like about it, Mark?
Let me see. Maybe some of the bits of comedy. It's like there is some comedy to it.
So you don't want any humor in your heart.
No matter what you say,
In my
you
heart.
see it in your heart, in the cackles of your heart, Mark. Can you find a place for Way of the Dragon, please?
Oh, of course. Sure.
No, so the opening of the movie is kind of weird because it is like Bruce Lee comes in and he like these guys are roughing up the guy who owns this, what is it, like a store, I think, or something, or like I don't know what the equivalent of it would be, but he owns like a restaurant or a store or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. And so Bruce Lee comes in, and every time these guys come in, like he beats the shit out of them, of course. And there's some great fight scenes in that too, where he uses the nunchucks for the first time and like does all kinds of shit, and it's really cool. But there's a lot of humor in those scenes too, and there's always like the goofy kind of guy, you know, and he's got like Bruce Lee has like a couple of people that help him, and they're kind of goofy, and it's like the ragtag group of fighters or whatever.
Yeah,
I guess
that's a perfect way to describe it. Yeah.
So I could see that because it's not as, in no way is it as serious as like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
But I always really liked that. I just liked, I liked the whole thing.
People in the chat are turning on Mark.
Are they?
Yeah.
What?
Oh,
What
yeah,
Mark
see.
hate? Why you hating Mark?
Why you hating Mark?
What happened to you as a child? Why you hate everything? You hate white. You hate black.
Wet movie. I'm glad you're here, man. I hope you're doing better. I know that you were in the hospital not long ago, and I saw that you got out, did an interview with Dolph Lundgren, so that's a hell of a way to get back into it. So
Yeah,
hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
Wish you the best, man. I hope you're getting better, man. Take it day by day.
Yeah, man.
That's exactly right. Probably the most memorable part of that fight scene. He had to pull his chest hair out to get the advantage. The dastardly move that Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Psycho Hobo says, "Rest in peace, Mr. Norris. I've always loved Texas Ranger."
Yeah, again, I never saw much of that show except clips. One day I will have to go back to rewatch it to at least watch it one time. Just
Yeah.
because I never saw the show.
The episode with Sting too.
The what?
The episode with Sting,
Sting.
Sting? Really?
the wrestler. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He had like a
Okay.
bandana or whatever. Just trying to play like a badass.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of cameos in there.
Bob Zombie's
yeah.
got a good point. He says, "Mark, you have a multi-million-dollar mansion and a cocainium couch. Please stop being so bitter."
Yeah, why are you so
I'll
bad?
try. I can only try to be better. I'll
You hate
work on
Bruce
it.
Lee. You hate.
I didn't say I hate Bruce Lee.
I like Retro's post is just why why are you the way that you are? Okay.
Only God knows.
Red Bear the Pirate
Oh.
says some idiot at Variety. I saw this article too. Some idiot at Variety said Chuck's politics will overshadow his legacy. Hell, some people said he deserves to die because of his politics. So he was conservative, and there was an article on Variety that said it did have one of those, clickbait titles that was like, started all these action movies, but his politics may overshadow his career. That was like the title. And I was like, buddy, go fuck yourself. Like, seriously. Somebody makes this many films and has that long of a career, and the only thing they can focus on are his politics, which I don't even give a shit what your politics are if you're making movies, to be honest.
Right.
But they did, because that's where we're at.
Most normal people don't know and don't care about politics, let alone his politics. They don't. I bet most people don't even know what they were. No. Most people talking about his movies. They're talking about Missing in Action and Sound Rage and this film, which Mark hates. But seriously, like, they're talking about these films. They're talking about how a legend he is. They're talking about the Chuck Norris Fest. They're talking about he had a damn cartoon, which I never saw back in the day. He was in Expendables 2. That's what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So, no, that's ridiculous. Like, it's clickbait.
It is.
It's because who knows about Variety anymore? No one and nobody.
It is weird though how like those publications and shit will just put stuff out there like that, like right after somebody dies, just to fucking get people to rage bait.
Mm-hmm.
Just
they're clearly looking for that type of response and reaction.
That's the world we live in now. I hate shit like that.
I'm assuming they get paid how many people go to the site because you have the advertisements. So if your website gets amount of hits,
probably, yeah,
it's the hits basically.
So hit them in the face, but with my dick. But fuck them, fuck Variety. They have a variety of cocks in their mouth.
Jesus Christ.
And up
Wet Movie says, thanks, boys. I'm not out of the water yet when it comes to my legs, but I have a doctor's appointment Monday. So, yeah, I hope that you have.
Good
wish
luck
you
with
the
that,
best,
buddy.
man.
Yeah.
Fuck politics. Yes, please fuck them. Like, does anybody really want to hear anything about politics right now, especially? Fuck no.
Never.
No.
Never.
A super chat from Bobby.
Thank you.
CK is Finn Gooley. Uncle Bill is Sammy Terry. That would be the one I would prefer, honestly. Matt as the guy from Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Great.
Mike OCP is Bill, the cartoon creator. Mark as Toonie Red Tuna. Toonie Red Tuna. Okay. John is Mr. Quizzer. Fabio is detective about to retire.
I gotta look up Toonie Red Tuna.
Yes, please do.
Yeah,
Toonie Red
what the
Tuna.
hell is that from?
It's a red colored puppet. From Tune In With Me. Sarcastic, tuna loving character. Has personas like Tupid, the red tuna of love for Valentine's Day.
Is this from like a TV show, a cartoon? Like
A Me TV morning cartoon show.
Yeah, never heard of that.
You're a tuna loving red colored puppet.
Fucking hate
At
tuna.
least they didn't say you're a black puppet.
Yeah.
This is profiling. Was better than being part of Spike Lee.
All right, you ready for the next one? I actually watched this one today. I don't know how familiar you guys are with this one, but this one is another one from this early period. Where the fuck did I put it? There it is. Good Guys Wear Black.
That's one that I don't remember much of. The vaguest memory is I wasn't really into it back in the day. I just remember the scene that's on his sunglasses kicking through the windshield.
Yeah. So this is actually the movie that kind of, well, he did Way of the Dragon first, and people noticed him in it, but the movie that really like put him over as like a top, it was this movie. This was the first movie he really carried and really kind of like did well. And he plays like he's a an ex-Vietnam veteran. And he does this job in Vietnam, then he gets like put on the CIA's hit list, and it's just him like trying to like keep from getting killed by the CIA.
The
throughout
Black
it.
Tigers.
Black Tigers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's a very slow paced movie though.
Okay.
I don't really think they figured out the formula of like what in 78 about what these movies would really be like. So there's some of it that like reminds you of stuff, but that would come later in his movies, but it's fewer and far between in this movie too.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones that he did some choreography on. So I do remember his brother being in the movie as well. Of course, his brother would go on to direct films. But I'm starting to see a pattern. I didn't really realize this before, but a lot of the 70s stuff is just okay for me. Like I guess I'm more of an 80s and 90s Chuck Norris guy. But yeah, this one's all right. I don't ever go back to this one.
Well, I want to need you to open your heart up to the 70s Chuck Norris films, buddy. That's what I'm going to need from you.
The other thing I think of is that in Expendables 2, they have a reference to this because his character's name is Booker, same name as this guy, Chuck Norris.
But he goes.
Sorry. Go ahead.
He goes by the Lone Wolf, right?
Yeah, but his actual name is Booker. But yeah, the Lone Wolf McQuaid.
Exactly. Right. That's because that's what I always thought it was a play on. But
yeah.
Do you know if this is true? Because I'd never ever heard this, but let me see if I can find it again on here. Where in the fuck is that? Somebody said that at one time or another, John Carpenter wanted to work with him. Here we go. I read John Carpenter wanted to work with Norris, but they snubbed him.
I never heard that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell would he have been in.
I don't know, but that would have been awesome.
Who snubbed who? They like the producers, or
I don't know. Maybe he's got more info about it. Yeah, he said yes. I read that in an interview.
Huh.
All right. Well, Phantasm Matt says, "Hey bulls, just met Vera Sorvino and got 5 post-it notes. I'm selling them for $75 a piece. Hit me up."
I just went to the Discord like before coming on just to check what was going on today in there, and like I thought that I read that wrong or something. I didn't want to say anything. Is that post-its? Really? That's what the fuck we're doing now?
That's what it fucking said on her thing. Post-it notes, signed post-it notes, $20. Listen, I got into it again today I don't want to get too far into this because it's just going to piss me off even more. I got into it again today on that thread that will never die about conventions. That thread's still going on. And there was a thread.
Which thread?
It's the one that Crater posted about a lot of the stuff that we were talking about on that video.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on there, in my opinion, just coming up with some of the lamest excuses that I've ever heard for like why, the things are just fine the way they are and things should continue to be the way that they are. And I'm just like, I posted like a fucking thesis on there because I just got so kind of pissed off about how nonchalantly they're acting about it. But this whole convention thing is just crazy to me.
How do they rationalize it? I know not to go off tangent, but I'm just curious. How do they rationalize it?
Well, I swear to God, to give you an idea of one of the arguments that they were like posing in that thread, one of the arguments was they have to charge that much because that weeds out all the people that don't have a lot of money, so the line isn't that long. So in other words, they're pricing out poor people, and basically to keep the line down, they have to. I'm not kidding. That was an excuse, in my opinion.
That sounds so made up. Like somebody just fucking No, not by you, but
They
like,
were
just
they were dead
it's
serious.
ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure. Anyway, there were other excuses like I heard just a bevy of excuses that none of them that I think hold any water, but like inflation, which I prove that that's not true. I mean, shit goes up, but it doesn't go up as high as that. Like if you're just following basic, inflation. Another argument was that it was basically like a luxury item. So, and essentially it was just for like people that could afford it. It's not meant to be for the common man. A lot of people seem to be taking the approach that WWE is taking at this point, which is like just pricing out everybody. The only difference is that, as far as I know, conventions aren't like, they don't have a board or stockholders or anything like that. There's really no reason for them to be doing this other than they're just greedy. Yeah. So anyway, there's my spiel on that, and you can go over and read that post, another post that I've made about it, because I think it's all just a bunch of bullshit. Post-it note thing is kind of funny because the inside joke related to her movie Romeo and Michelle. Oh, okay.
So
I
actually-
haven't seen Romeo and Michelle. Oh my god, I forgot.
It actually
about that.
has a basis to it. It's still a horrible idea.
sounds like a bunch of jock sniffers.
History is Satan. What? All right. Let's just move on. History is
Satan, you mean? But
son of a bitch and fucking shows. Let's see. What could we do next?
sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches. All right, let's do one of the more popular ones. This spawned an entire franchise, basically, with this one.
Of course.
Now, we're getting into the 80s now. We're almost out of the 70s movies. And we're getting into the 80s era, Norris. This may be, aside from like Walker, of course, like this is probably his most known movie, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the only trilogy franchise movie-wise he did. I mean, there's films he did sequels like Delta Force 2, but this... I mean, just the history behind the film, where this was meant to be the second film, because the second film was meant to be the first film, and they did them back to back. But they thought the second film was a much better movie, so they put this out first, and they made the first film into a prequel.
I'll be honest with you, I think the second film is a better movie, but that's just me.
I actually think so too. I mean, I like this one. I do like the second one more, but I mean, I like this one.
Who did the second one? Because I know Joe Zito did this one. Who did part two? I forgot.
I can't remember his name. He didn't do a whole lot.
Part 2 was directed by Lance Houle.
Yeah.
He did, the only other things he did was Still Dawn, One Man's Hero, and a bunch of bullshit, really. Still Dawn is the only movie I've ever heard of. That's the Patrick Swayze one, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah, I know he got a lot of crap because just the producers, everybody hated his film and the embarrassment of your film being kind of pushed aside for the sequel. So that probably affected his work later on, getting as many jobs. I mean, it was the early start of the POW films. Before that was this film called Uncommon Valor, which I always talk about. That was
I
82.
just fucking watched this for the first time
Nice.
a couple of days ago. It's a great movie.
What release is that?
That's the new Kino 4K.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You liked it?
I loved it. I thought that, the weirdest thing about it is fucking Tex Cobb was the best part of that movie. I was like, this
The
is
grenade
odd.
around his neck. And
Yeah. Like he's the star of the movie. I mean, he's like I don't mean he's the star. Hackman is the star, but he's like the
most fun.
the breakout star of the movie.
I did energy from the air. I talked to polar bears. I fucked nuclear waste.
Yeah. It's like, what a line. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Gene Hackman, Patrick Swayze, Fred Ward, Reb Brown. You got a crazy cast in that. Um, I love the ending, not to give away. I love so much. I always defend that film because I'm like, I think that's such an underrated movie. So I always try to tell people check it out because no one really knows about it. But yeah, that was 83. That was a POW film. And then this was 84. And then Rambo 2 was 85. Now, I would put Rambo 2 above this film in terms of action, excitement, spectacle. What do you think of Joseph Zito? Like, you know him as a horror director, Friday the 13th Part 4, the Prowler.
he had some fucking killer films. You mean as a director?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, put it to you this way. Zito directed Invasion USA. He directed
Red
Prowler,
Scorpion, too.
Red Scorpion, Friday 4. I mean, he's got a pretty good. He didn't do that many movies, but the ones that he did, they were
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm right there.
So I'm
with him.
curious, what makes you like this? I have my reasons why, but why do you like the second one more than this?
I just always thought that it was more like there's more action in it and a lot more set pieces. And it seemed like, oddly enough, it's weird that they were both filmed together because it seemed like the second one had more money, but I guess it probably didn't. If they're like all being filmed at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that there was a lot more of the stuff with them all being in the POW camp and that guy torturing the shit out of everybody until like it finally comes to a head, which was great.
Yeah, he's killing people with flamethrowers. You have the big fist fight at the end. All this. They try to torture him with a rat. He's like, "Fuck that! I'm gonna bite the rat myself. Get the rat before it gets me." It's pretty badass there.
Yeah.
But Mark, how do you feel about these films or this film?
I like much like you guys. The second one was always the one that I watched the most. Definitely the set pieces, the action set pieces seemed they're more memorable, more fun. The first one, well, technically the second one is the first one, but Missing in Action Part 1, I'll say. I like the whole POW thing, like you were talking about. I like the setting, as well as cast wise. I always liked Emmett Walsh, who's in there. And I think, no, wait, Steve Williams is in the second one, right?
No, and the second one is the dude, Stephen Williams.
Yeah, Steve Williams is in the second one.
He's in the
Yeah.
second one.
Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of I don't know why I thought you said Steve James, but yeah, yes, you're right. Stephen Williams is in the second one.
So
And
is
Emmett Walsh is in the first one.
He's in the first one.
yeah.
Yeah, the second one, Stephen Williams. Yeah, because he's the guy who kind of turncoats, turns, but then kind of redeemed himself near the end.
Yeah, right.
You know who else is in the second one too, which probably makes it even like another reason why we probably like it. Professor Tanaka himself.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
forgot about that.
I completely didn't even think of that. Yeah.
We got a super chat. Bobby says, "Oh shit!" Bobby brought Jackson Jack into this. Jackson Jack said, "I'm finally going to do it. I'm finally going to ask Peyton List out on a date." All right. Matt said, "Do it. I heard she's dating Sean Clark now." Jackson said, "What? No, this is horrible. I must go see." Well,
So is he on a date, Sean Clark?
yeah, Jackson Jack. He brought in a new character into the mix.
His Jats said, "Bobby, put me in your story." He literally said that. So there you go. Ask and ye shall receive, Jackson Jack.
Yeah, Bobby. Look here.
Who's
All right.
Peyton? Peyton
Wait a
List
minute.
on a who's Peyton?
Peyton List is that chick from Cobra Kai. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I didn't know their names. I'm starting to like the show. I will be honest. I'm starting to like the show.
The
But I
good
didn't know
show.
their names.
It is a good show. It definitely does a lot better all the way through its continuation, as opposed to like Stranger Things.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
slowly getting through season 1, but I wasn't sure about it first. But the more I watch it, more I'm liking it. I will admit.
All right, so let's go. We got Missing in Action, got Missing in Action 2, and then you got, I think Braddock is the third one, right? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Rambo, Braddock, Missing Action 3.
I can't find a poster of that friggin' movie. Oh, here's one. This is actually a pretty good one. I don't think this is the main one, but I like this one.
Yeah, because that's the shot from the first movie.
Missing Action 3 with the fucking shot. I don't remember that movie at all, so you guys go crazy.
That's a film that I wasn't sure at first. I watched it the least of the three as a kid. You know what? I watched that when the Blu-ray came out. It might have been 10 years ago. I actually really liked it. It's much better than I remember. I would say I liked it more than the first one. Second one's still my favorite. Pretty
Especially since production-wise, that one fell apart. Because at the time, Canon was having financial trouble.
Oh yeah.
And I think I remember hearing Joe Zito started it and then left halfway through or something like that. And then Chuck Norris's brother comes in, Aaron Norris.
Aaron.
Direct. Yeah.
Because like the beginning was cool. It was the fall of Saigon, so it definitely looked like some production backdrop for that. And then pretty much the rest of the story is that he finds out he has a kid. The kid's been left behind, and he goes in to find his kid, and then finds all these other kids and has to rescue them along with others. And there's some pretty big action set pieces. He's got like a grenade launcher or something. He's just busting through huts, shooting people, and they're blowing up and stuff.
Here, hold on. This is a better representation of, I think, what you're talking about.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
It definitely has that Rambo 2 feel to it. There's even the bit where he's being interrogated and electrocuted, and he's fucking people up. I mean, not just the title, like Rambo, First Blood Part 2, but that definitely has a Rambo 2 feel to it. I think that's what they're going for. I think this was 88 when it came out. So it definitely meant for that more comic book feel to it. I try to remember if that's the one where he goes, I don't step on toes, I step on necks. I think that's the film where he says that stuff. So it's a fun one. I actually liked it more than the first one. I was surprised how much I liked it. It was a fun one.
Yeah, I think Norris wrote that one too.
You would write a line like that. One of my favorites. Don't be stepping on toes. I don't step on toes. I step on necks. Exactly.
all right. So here's the poster for possibly my favorite Chuck Norris movie of all time.
Dog.
Top Dog. How'd you know?
I don't know if that's anyone's favorite. That's an awesome movie, though.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
That poster is awesome too. Like, it's that look with the double like Uzis.
Yeah. Epitomizes 80s action.
So I think it's Richard Lynch. I think that's the deal breaker for me. That's why I like this movie a lot, because it's got like a really good villain in Richard Lynch in it.
Yeah.
And it's basically like Red Dawn in a way. But with Chuck Norris.
So a bunch of kids, just Chuck Norris doing himself, killing everybody.
Yeah, but you don't have a group of people. You just have drop Chuck Norris into it. Yeah.
I mean, it really is to a point. He just teleports to where he needs to be. Sometimes they don't explain how the hell he knew the bad guys were there, or do they cut all that stuff out where he learns this is where the bad guys are at. Oh, the bad guys are on this bus, or they're going to attack the school bus. That's what the. But how did Chuck know that?
Yeah.
He just knows.
He just knows. He shows up at the church or whatever and disarms
just
the fucking bomb. Yeah.
That's just it.
It's
But
got
really-
some of the best quotes though. Some of my favorite quotes. There's the quote where he's like, how does he say? He's like, one of these days, he's on the TV and he's like, one of these days you're gonna wake up and it's gonna be time to die. Like it's just that's the continuous quote throughout the movie is like, it's time to die. And then there's the one too where they try to blow up, I think it's a church, synagogue, something like that. And he's standing over top of him and he's like, didn't work, did it? Now it will. And he blows him up. Yeah. I just think that there's something about this movie that's to me the perfect combination of him and a good villain and action sequences and just the whole thing works.
Yeah, I always like the opening, and the Miami setting too is cool. Now I might be wrong about this, but was this the one where Norris and Zito they kind of got into it over some stuff about the movie? Rambo, do you know anything about that?
No.
Okay, I could be wrong. Could be a different.
I mean, it might have been. I think this was the last time they worked together. So that would make
okay.
sense.
So this was it then. This was it. They had a disagreement, I think, over casting and something else.
Oh, didn't Chuck Norris want Whoopi Goldberg?
That's what it was.
For that reporter lady?
He wanted her to play the reporter. Exactly. Yeah.
The reporter lady that becomes hostage and not really a love interest. She's just kind of there.
Right.
So there's a quote on here where Chuck Norris said that the action sequences were too much, but I don't think you can really have too much in a movie like this. Too much is really not enough.
Yeah, it has
also,
that Death Wish 3 over the top flavor to it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know this either, but the film Avenging Force, which actually came out from Kino and I have, was intended to be a sequel to this movie for Chuck Norris, but he turned it down. And Michael Dudikoff.
I think Michael Dudikoff's character's name is the same name as this character. But since Norris didn't want to do it, they gave it to Michael Dudikoff since he had done American Ninja.
This is also the film of which I took over to get my poster signed from a very drunk or high or possibly both Richard Lynch, who then proceeded to rip the shit out of it as he was trying to sign it. So there's that too.
He was still in character.
Yeah.
This is the one that Stargazers aren't going drinking the Bud Wieners.
The old Bud Wieners. Bud Wiener Light.
Now, you saw this on VHS or cable?
I don't know where I saw this the first
I think
time.
it was cable for me.
Was there any Norris films you had seen in the theater, or they were all?
I don't think I saw any of his films in the theater. None that I can remember. I know I saw Missing in Action on VHS. I know I remember that. Part 1 and 2.
Yes, I never got to see him in the theater as well.
None of the 80s movies. I don't think I saw any of the 80s movies in theater.
Yeah, that's the thing with Chuck Norris at the time. People don't know, Canon had films for Charles Bronson or films for Chuck Norris. So there was an assortment. Yeah, they wanted him for American Ninja. He's like, no, because I want to show my face. There's so many other films that they wanted him to do that he just never ended up doing. He was like Charles Bronson, the golden goose for Canon films.
Probably, though, the one that I most could have seen in a theater, but I still didn't for some reason, would be this next one. This is a super popular one, too. I don't know if it beats out Missing in Action, but it's definitely one of the more popular Norris films. And like I said early on, I watched the piss out of this movie, Delta Force, which is basically just a, movie about hijacking of a plane, and all these people are held captive inside the plane, as then this force of people led by Chuck Norris tries to rescue them. That's basically the whole movie.
If Megaforce was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing with the terrorists hijacking the flight and all that, like, I don't know how well that would play or go over with people.
Well, I think it was
today, but
loosely based on a true story, but of course they changed a lot of things, embellished a lot of things.
Mhm.
The first half is definitely a build up more about the people on the plane.
Yeah.
It's really the second half where you get the Chuck Norris, the action, the motorcycle with the missiles and stuff. Did that hinder you at all, the enjoyment of the first half? Where it's like this slow build to the action, the Chuck Norris stuff, or were you not bothered by it? Because I know some people were, some were not.
Didn't bother me.
Didn't bother me because I think back then you could actually like watch a movie and everybody didn't have ADHD. So
They didn't have their phones on the old.
you just kind of were expected to sit through a movie.
Yeah, and you had like Robert Forster as the bad guy, which was cool. You had a
That
lot
was-
of familiar faces like George Kennedy and such on the
Yeah.
passengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
That was going to be my question. You guys think of Robert Forster in it?
I love Robert Forster in just about anything, to be honest. There's really not anybody in this movie that I didn't like their character or anything like that. I mean, you've got Lee Marvin, of course. There's a lot of older, like Hollywood people. George Kennedy's in it. Bo Svenson's in it. Robert Vaughn, Shelley Winters. I mean, there's a ton of old Hollywood people in this movie. I don't know why they picked the cast like that, but it kind of works in a way
Mm-hmm.
because like they all play pretty well off each other in the scenes where there's not a lot of action going on.
And I think originally it was not going to be Lee Marvin. It was going to be Charles Bronson and Chuck Norris together.
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason Bronson dropped out. I mean, which would have been cool to see the two of them together, but I do like Lee Marvin in the film. But it would have been cool to see the two Chucks together in the film.
Yeah, that would have been amazing if that actually happened.
But someone mentioned earlier in the chat, the score is fantastic. The Alan Silvestri, such a one of those action scores that's like, what's a theme that signifies action movies? Like the Delta Force score.
Mm-hmm.
Like that gets my adrenaline pumping. And Alan Silvestri, that's the guy who would go on to do Back to the Future and then other scores, Predator.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely one of those scores I listened to earlier in the film. And once again, you got Steve James in the movie, which he was in, a variety of other films. You got, I mean, come on, he's shooting rockets out of his motorcycle.
Yeah, that's
badass. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's overall one of his best movies.
I don't know if you don't bring it up, but what do you think of the second one?
I don't remember the second one.
Not the first two.
I'm assuming that I probably saw it. Isn't that the Columbia Connection or something like that?
Yeah.
I just don't remember it.
That also, that's with Billy Drago, right?
Billy Drago was the main villain, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I always like him in pretty much anything, so that kind of won me over from the start. Yeah, it is very different. I mean, also the look of it too, because I think they were out of the 90s by that point. Wasn't that like 1990 or 91?
Yeah.
Think so,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you still got like the typical kind of stuff with the cocaine and all that. Like, I think it's fun. The first one I think is a bit more fun, but I like the second one.
Do you like Delta Force 3?
I was going to say they made a Delta Force 3, and I know Rambo has fucking seen this movie.
One time, and it's completely forgettable. Chuck did not come back. I forget who was in it. I think it was like a bunch of like relatives.
It says John Cassavetes is or wait a minute, not John Cassavetes.
Yeah, I think like maybe
one of the
Norris.
Cassavetes boys. Nick Cassavetes. And
That's
Mike
what I was
Norris.
gonna say Nick Cassavetes.
Who the fuck is Mike Norris? Is that like his cousin or something?
I think that's like one of his. It might be one of his younger brothers or something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like Eric Douglas
his
is
son.
related to.
Mike Norris is the son, the eldest son of
Oh.
Chuck Norris.
Okay, the son. Okay.
I'll be damned. Okay. Didn't work out for him. Acting
No.
wise.
Yeah, ain't worth a piss.
All right. So that's the Delta Force movies, basically. Let's see what else we got. So we're moving closer to the 90s, which is an interesting time for Norris because I don't know, it didn't seem like a whole hell of a lot was going on for a lot of people in action stars from the 80s at that time. Probably though, the one, God, it's got Top Dog on here. The less we say about Top Dog, probably the better.
We should. I mean, we could mention it because it has the weirdest plot.
Do we have to mention it? It's absolutely necessary.
We don't,
Hold on.
but go ahead, Rambo.
No, I'm just curious. Like, it's not a good movie, but just curious your thoughts of how do you make a white supremacist action film where your cop is with a dog?
Very carefully.
How does that come about?
They
Mark-
were white. They were white nationalists, not supremacists.
What's the difference?
I don't know. Just
What is the difference?
just-
I don't know either.
How does that come about? Like, how do you do that and no one go, hold up, what are we doing?
Mhm.
I say if Turner and Hooch had them going after the gain for my spit on your grave or something. I spit on your dog collar.
Here, y'all ready for this poster? I don't think you are. There you go.
That no Fat Pit the Conqueror. Am I wrong? That's like the plot. It's like the nationalists are trying to bomb a place.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and then there's something about like Hitler's birthday or something, and yeah, that is I didn't really think about
Damn.
it. You mentioned that, like for that kind of movie, it is very weird. Does not fit at all.
Yeah,
It's not like Turner and Hooch. You didn't have a lighthearted kind of turn to it, doesn't sound like.
No.
that's just a weird plot for I would assume would be a kids film based on the
Oh,
cover.
definitely. Yeah, I think that's what they were going for.
Let's say if Dennis the Menace turned to a slasher.
That sounds killer though.
That'd be amazing.
Actually,
They probably will do that at some point. Any other thoughts about Top Dog? I hope not.
no.
No, I don't remember much. Pretty bad. One of his
Yeah.
worst.
Bunch of horse shit, what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find a good. Here we go. That's a pretty good one. Poster for this one. This is. I don't know why this movie gets so much hate, but it does from a lot of people.
Hmm.
And I always really, really like this movie, but this is Sidekicks. Jonathan Brandis, Chuck Norris, Richard Mole. What's the chick from the Wonder Years? She's like the love interest in it, I think.
I'm not sure.
God, what's her name?
I know the Wonder Years. I actually never saw it.
Yeah. Let me look
I
it up.
forgot.
Anyway, it's got a great cast. I think fucking Bo Bridges is in it too. He's like the dad.
Yeah, Bo Bridges,
Yeah, he
Marco, Joe Piscopo, of course.
Danica McKellar, that's who I was trying to think of.
Right.
Piscopo is great in it. Piscopo is not a good actor, generally speaking, but like he plays this really well. He plays like over the top, really, really well. And this is like one of the most over the top roles ever. I just like this movie. I think it's a cool movie that like I have a nostalgia factor for it, but also it's got a cool premise, which is it's like he's training to, you know, with Mako and as Chuck Norris is like his schizophrenic hallucination, or I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but like helping him out in his times of need.
At time it does. If you watch the film, there are times you go, this guy might need medication. This character, because there are times like he gets in full disembodied hallucinatory situations where today it'd be like, yeah, you need some medication or something. But that's a film that I did not watch a lot when I was a kid, but I think I could relate to the lead guy. I could relate to Jonathan Brandis, where I too was a shy kid in school. I would daydream a lot. I didn't talk to people who weren't there. I didn't go that far, but the daydreaming part I could understand. Living out action films in your head, watching an action movie, and you living it like Jonathan Brandis, relatable character. I liked him as an actor. Very sad what happened. We talked a little bit before. He was 27 years old when he ended his life, which is very sad. And yeah, both of them are gone now, which is sad. But it's hardest in the right place. Piscopo seems like he's in a completely different movie at times.
He does. That's what I think makes it great, though. Like he's so cartoonish.
Yeah, very, very cartoonish.
I think that they told him, "Hey, you're in a kids movie," and he thought they meant like 3-year-olds. Everybody else thought they were like teenagers, but I mean that's all I can figure because he's just so over the top with his facial expressions and shit. Like when in the fight sequence and stuff, it's like some sort of damn, you know, Roadrunner cartoon or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, always had a lot of fun with that one. One of my favorites of his. I mean, it's as a kid, it's kind of like the perfect movie. I mean, because if you were like the shy kid and you were a fan of like this big action star, despite the daydreaming aspects, by the time you get to the third act, he actually does meet the real Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
And he becomes his mentor alongside Mako. And like he goes in and I think even, Norris fights Piscopo at the end. So it all sort of comes full circle and he has his dreams come true of meeting his favorite action star and even fighting in a tournament. And God, how many movies around that time was Karate with a Kid something besides the Karate Kid movies themselves, of course, but that seemed to be like a
Surf Ninjas, Three
Ninjas. Yeah.
High Noon and Mega Mountain.
Such a big subgenre at that time. I don't know why it was so big, but
because of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, I guess I can see that.
And the 1990 movie that made 130 million. It was like the biggest independent film of its time. So like, kids like martial arts, kids like those type of action. Let's play Kate, and then Three Ninjas came out. That was a surprise hit. That you had Surf Ninja, many other films afterward, but definitely because of this, because that cartoon and movie was so huge. It's a phenomenon of its time. So that's why films like this and Three Ninjas got made. But it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
So Mark, do you have the Vinegar Syndrome release?
Oh yeah, I bought it as soon as they put it up.
You better, Mark.
Well, we don't talk about Pocket Ninjas.
Let me ask y'all a question though, because I was thinking about this as we were talking about this movie.
Yeah,
I really think Richard Mole was underrated. over, not in this movie per se, just in his whole career. Like, okay, so he's great in The Dungeon Master. He did House, he's great in that. Night Court, he's great in that. He's great in this movie. He just plays like a gym coach, but he's great in it as well. Evil Speak. I mean, the dude just was really good in every movie I can think of him being in. And I don't know, he just got kind of fucking typecast by Night Court, I think. But he was a really good actor.
Yeah, he was one of those actors that even if it was just a one scene, small role, you could put him in and he'd make an impact. So, for example, I remember him from National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
Yeah.
When the two were going to see the Hannibal Lecter. He's like, I've been stayed to the right.
Yeah, he's in the prison.
And stuff. I agree. What made you think it had you just because of this, or had
just
you
him just seeing his name in this movie? Like, and then I always was a huge Night Court fan, and thinking about all the different things he's been in where he's been really good. But like, whenever I think about this movie, for some reason, the scene that immediately pops into my head is that scene where he's trying to climb that rope, and Richard Mole is there, like, "Come on, Barry, Wary," or whatever, like screaming at him and shit.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're gonna get into some like really obscure ones now. Shit that I haven't even seen, or But Rambo, you mentioned this one.
Yeah, I don't know if it has a Blu-ray. As far as I know, it's only on this 3-pack here with Hellbound and Force Vengeance, which does have a Blu-ray. Hitman is one of those films I need to rewatch, but it does have Michael Parks in it. Michael Parks is first he's the partner of Chuck Norris, but then he turns on him. Chuck Norris' character gets screwed over. You think he died, but he actually eventually makes him pretend that he's dead, and he then infiltrates and tries to pretty much be undercover as his hitman. It's a film I definitely need to rewatch, but I mean, yeah, Michael Parks is a villain. That's always a plus. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
William B. Davis, too.
Oh, really? I forgot he was in this.
Yeah, he is. He pops up in it.
Mark's favorite.
Yeah.
It's one I need to rewatch as well. But it's a little hard to find, and it's not on anything like streaming service wise, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the only thing is this, and it's in full screen.
Oh, man.
I don't know if it's in anywhere else.
Yeah, I need to see this again. Been a while.
Listen, Rambo, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm hoping this is just a joke.
No, that.
What the fuck is that?
I think there's a scene where he does turn into like a deer or a bear. It might have been a bear or something. I to be honest, I've never seen it. I've only seen clips of it. But I swear there's a scene where he is the protector of the forest and he turns to like a bear or something.
What? I have to see this movie now, right? Like, there's no way.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I'll wait your review.
It's got to be. I bet you $1 million that's on Tubi. That looks like it was made for Tubi. Like today.
Okay, Jesse says he does. Okay, well there you go. I know.
Yeah, he can also transform into, what was it? I know the bear. Yeah, I remember. It's, I think, a wolf.
Of course, lone wolf.
And an eagle. Yeah, it's a weird one because,
is it a kids film?
Yeah, yes, very much so. I mean, it starts out, I think it's about I think he dies or something, but he gets brought back, and then he's given this ability to transform into all this stuff, and pretty much what you were saying, like it's just bad. It's not good.
Shape-shifting mountain man.
That's legitimately what he is. I mean,
It's from
And then he's trying to protect the forest.
1996.
Yeah. He's just trying to protect the forest, basically.
He's the king of the forest.
Of course, it's like a great value Beastmaster. Holy shit, that's killer. How have I never heard of that? Anyway,
I had heard of it, but it just looked bad, so I never bothered to watch it.
yeah, it doesn't look great.
No, it's pretty bad.
This is one though. This next one, I'm not ever going to get over that, but I'm going to try. This next one's one that you guys have referenced quite a bit on here. I'm trying to find a good image of it. Let's see. It's hard to find because this movie is not well known at all. Let's see. But it gets brought up quite a bit on here.
Oh, okay. I think I know what it is then.
Here you go, Rambo. This is the one that you were talking about earlier. Hellbound, Bulls.
Yeah, definitely a film that is nostalgic. Because I remember seeing the trailer for this when I was a kid, and once again, intrigued when a action star delves into a bit of the horror realm. Definitely of lower budget. I think it's one of the last films Cannon did. It was definitely the last film Chuck Norris did for Cannon. It's directed by his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much he's a Chicago cop where him and his partner go to, I think it's Israel.
Yeah.
And there's these killings early on. Someone gets their heart ripped out. And you find out it's this demon.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of action. There's a one bit with, I think, in a bar. But it's... I like the film for what it is. It's not one of those films that I would go, hey, if you've never seen Chuck Norris, check this one out. But I do like it for what it is. The villain is Christopher Neame. He was also the villain in this Jeff Speakman film called Street Night. Yeah, I liked it for what it was. I thought it was fun. I don't know, how about you, Mark? I mean...
Yeah, it's one of the lesser ones, but I do like it. I remember seeing it when I was younger. It's got a bit of that there's like a whole like other subplot. There's something with like a scepter or something.
Yeah, pieces of the scepter that they're looking for, and of course
yeah,
what's used to kill the villain at the end.
Exactly. So I know they're trying to get those pieces. It's not necessarily an adventure necessarily, but I think what I always liked most about it was obviously the horror elements or supernatural elements, because I wouldn't really say it's horror. It's more like supernatural thriller. It just, like I said earlier, it doesn't live up to the other movies.
Right.
I actually think Hero and the Terror might be better than this one, and definitely Silent Rage is.
Well, you could tell it was the last days of Cannon where they did not have much budget left anymore.
Yeah, very cheap looking. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Cheap looking.
Cheap looking. Music wise, I do like some of the music in it because I think it's George S. Clinton, and he also did the main theme from Brainscan, which I just fucking love that. So, I mean, it's got some stuff in it that's worth checking out. If you want to see what the dying days of Cannon was like, because I think by this point, Norris may or may not have been out of his 10-picture deal, or was it an 8-picture deal? Something like that.
Something like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the hit band was Cannon, and then this was Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So are there any like that we haven't mentioned that you think are notable? Because I'm sure there's more in the 2000s. So I can't find a lot of this stuff.
Well, back in the day, there's an interesting one called An Eye for an Eye, because you had Richard Roundtree, who was
Yep.
Shaft. You had Christopher
Right,
Lee.
right.
You had Mako in that. And that's a pretty decent one for back to the day. An Eye for an Eye. Breaker
know,
Breaker was interesting
Forrest-
because they're trying to get
Yeah.
the Smokey and the Bandit. So it was like Chuck Norris is a trucker called Breaker Breaker. Yeah, Force
They're
Vengeance.
just ripping off. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're really just ripping off like other popular movies.
Yeah.
At some points, it's like he had his Rambo phase, he had his Clint Eastwood phase, and
Yeah.
I guess his slasher phase and everything else.
But yeah, Force Vengeance
Uh,
that does have a Blu-ray. That's kind of pretty much just Chuck just going around kicking everybody's ass in the second half of the film. Really,
That'll
there's
work.
not a
Really.
whole lot of a plot to it. Yeah, he did have a cartoon, Karate Commandos, in the 80s.
Let's see if we can find the image of that. Jesus Christ.
He
I do
wasn't
remember that.
too. I never saw the one he did that was a couple years ago where he was the robot. I forgot what it was called.
Mother of God. Look at this image. Something about this image is not set well with me. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's not.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Well, okay.
It's Hanna-Barbera.
All right. Thoughts on that one, Mark?
No thoughts.
Okay.
Before my time.
That's the thing. Later on in movies, he just didn't do a whole lot. He did either
No.
cameos like Dodgeball.
He was great in that. He had like a 30-second cameo in it, but it was great.
Thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Chuck Norris.
And yeah, the last two was a couple years ago, Agent Recon, where Mark Senior, Speaker Beastmaster, was in it, and Chuck was like a android or something in it, and then that zombie plane where he's playing himself, I guess, with Vanilla Ice and all these other people.
And isn't Ice-T in that too?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world? Yeah, so I mean, I feel like we covered the majority of the big things.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's do this. Give us your top 3 Chuck Norris movies. Don't have to be in order, Mark, because I know you'll shit your pants. But like just in any order. Like what you would consider the top 3 you would watch probably the most.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say MIA 2, Silent Rage, Invasion USA, but I got to give an honorable mention to Sidekicks.
Yeah.
I just love that film. So
For me, number 1 would be Firewalker. Number 2, I would put Invasion USA. Number 3, probably Silent Rage. Go with that.
I don't know what order these would be in, but Silent Rage is definitely one of them. Invasion USA is definitely one of the top 3. Now the last spot on there is harder because you got like Delta Force, Missing in Action 2. Oh shit! For me, I'm gonna pick Delta Force because that's just like nostalgic to me. So I'll say that. And Sidekicks would be super, super close though. It's also being incredibly nostalgic too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks because he's passed away, but like, I mean, like we were talking about, he's 80. He was 86 years old. He died in Hawaii. I mean, that's pretty good on all counts. Like, he was a millionaire. He's fucking 86 and he died in Hawaii. I don't know. That's like the trifecta, really. So sad that he's gone, but I mean, you won't live till you pass 90, do you? I mean, fuck. Like, what's going on past 90? Do you, Mark?
Yes, I can still have sex with women like Clint Eastwood.
I don't know if he can. I think they just prop him up and probably shoot him full of adrenaline. It's probably really bad blood thinners and adrenaline.
I thought Mark was going to say have sex with Clint Eastwood.
Yes.
Oh God,
Jesus, that's a nightmare fucking thought.
Exactly.
I just, oh my God, I'd never be able to get that out of my head now.
I mean, Mark, I didn't know that about you.
Oh God, no. No.
You want to have sex with Clint Eastwood, Mark? You hate Bruce Willis. You have sex with Clint Eastwood.
When you think about having sex with Clint Eastwood, are we talking about Clint Eastwood of now or like Eastwood of like 40 years ago? Or
doesn't matter. Neither for me. It don't matter how
I
old
feel like it matters. Like, because
so what if 40 years ago you'd be more willing to have sex with him?
I feel like
I'm not even in this conversation, so
I feel like nowadays he looks like a mummy. He looks like a mummified Q-tip. So yeah, probably.
Not enough.
Jeez.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how we transition out of that. But.
Yeah.
Rambo, what do you got going on? Like, what's coming up on the channel?
Well,
yeah, exactly.
I just uploaded a few reviews they were requested Steamboat Willie horror films. Pretty bad. There's one called I Heart Willie. There's one called Steamboat Massacre. And there'll be another one called Mouse of Horrors. That'll be up sometime tomorrow. Some more of those public domain horror films to be reviewed, thanks to people out there who requested it. Other than that, some other random stuff. Crank. Very good Jason Statham film. Even if you don't like Jason Statham, that's a good one because it's so unique compared to his other films. Rambo 3, someone actually requested a re-review of that, and that was a pleasant joy because I still don't get why that gets hated. It's such a fun, awesome, epic action movie. So that will be coming up on the channel soon. And many others. So thanks to people out there, really appreciate it. How about you, Mark?
Just a couple more collection videos. It'll be on box sets that I have that are really rare. That's pretty much it for this weekend. Like nothing else beyond that. I think those two will be good. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So over at DEADPIT, we're not doing anything right now just because like we've done a ton of shows here lately. We had the interview with Adam Marcus that went really, really well. That's a good show. The convention video prices took off, and that's done really well. Then we had we did the Anchor Bay covers stream with Slippy, and that went over really well too. So we've got a lot of stuff out there. If you haven't checked those out, then check them out. I don't know what we're going to be doing next, but there's a ton of stuff out there to watch. What are we doing next for the show? Are we going to pick back up with Franchise Killers unless somebody else passes away? Hopefully not within the next. Jesus.
I hope not.
Yeah, the idea which Mark came up with. Do you want to explain, Mark? It was your idea.
Yeah, so the idea was pretty much what the title sounds like. We're going to do a show discussing franchise killers. It may or may not be limited to horror films, but I think that's a good place to start. We could always do like a volume 2 and then do it on like action films. there's not really any drama franchises necessarily. So
True. Thank God.
probably not going to go that far. But horror and action, we could definitely do. And then it'll be very interactive show because I do want chat. Like, I want to hear you guys' opinions on what you think is a potential franchise killer, and don't just go off what we're talking about. Throw in all your ideas. So be fun.
Yeah. Thing to keep in mind is when he says franchise killers, he doesn't mean like, Freddy or Jason or anything like that. He means like movies that actually killed a franchise.
Yeah.
In terms of, for example, like, to me, like the Nightmare on Elm Street remake fucking killed that franchise, and it really hasn't come back since then. So it'll just be different ones like that,
Or like-
different opinions.
Like Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Exactly. Or the last Die Hard movie, for example.
And then it could be all sorts of conversation. Do you think it deserves that moniker? Was it a good movie? Was it a bad movie? Did it truly kill the franchise? Did it kill it for a few years? Did it kill it in a way that then they went in a completely new direction? There's a whole lot of stuff you could put into that. So
Scratch says there's another channel doing the same theme. I'll bet you I can guess what that channel is, actually.
I want to know which one it is now.
Yeah, go ahead and I don't even know it yet, but I bet I know off the top of my head. Go ahead and put in there which one it is. I'll see if I'm right.
great.
I hope I'm not.
And same theme, like the exact same idea. That's interesting.
What, the franchise killing thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fuck? I mean, we had it up for a bit, so
Yeah, we talked about it long
Yeah.
enough to where if somebody wanted to rip it off, they would have.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, Stretch Burno, who's the motherfucker?
Yeah. You can expose them.
Now I'm really curious.
Not gonna
Because
move
I-
until you tell us.
I
Stretch
got the idea out of a conversation that we were having last.
Dave McCray,
Last
who
week.
the fuck is that?
Oh, I know who that is. Okay.
Who is he?
He's a voice actor. He has a pretty decent following. I've seen his YouTube like in the past, like a couple years back.
Why is he stealing our shit then?
Great minds think alike. But yeah, he did he played Freddy in that. What was it called? Miko Hughes came back for it. It was like a short film. Yeah, it was a fan film. Dylan's Nightmares or Dylan's New Nightmare or something like that. Yeah.
Well,
Well-
this buddy's gonna be my nightmare.
Well, here's the deal. Like, I don't know who the hell that is, and I damn sure wouldn't steal anything off of him. So, we're still going to do it, and it's still going to be better. That's one thing to keep in mind. So that will be next Friday then, and we will do the franchise killer show. Yeah. So, any parting thoughts, concerns, random comments, anything like that?
Rest in peace to all these folks we talked about, especially Mr. Chuck Norris, a legend that will always be remembered, an icon that won't be forgotten. Rest in peace to you forever and always. And just a few things. Nah, that's it. I got. One quick thing, did you ever have a favorite Chuck Norris fact? Like one that was funnier?
I can't even remember any of them. None of them really like stuck with me. What do you have one?
No, I just there was always funny. Like he's not doing a push up; he's pushing the earth down.
Yeah.
There's all that stuff.
The one where what was it? Chuck Norris built the hospital he was born in.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris seasons his meat with pepper spray, something like that.
Chuck Norris cannot turn left because he's always right. Time waits for no man unless that man is Chuck Norris. When the boogeyman goes to sleep, he checks under the bed for Chuck Norris.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Chuck Norris can sneeze with his eyes open. Ghosts tell Chuck Norris stories at the campfire. It's just always crazy stuff. When Chuck Norris makes a mistake, the mistake apologizes.
God bless him.
Chuck Norris had a stunt double. It was used for the crying scenes. It's a lot of funny stuff out there. So check those out, folks. Get a laugh, get a chuckle, and that's all we could do. So rest in peace to the good man. So that's all there is to it.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna forgo saying our normal outro just in respect to Chuck Norris. So we will catch you guys later next Friday's show. And yeah, I don't really have an outro for this one. So bye.
A big thanks goes out to our supporters over at DEADPIT on Patreon.com. You can get hours upon hours of great content, right, Uncle Bill?
There's so many hours of content. We've got reviews. We've got songs. We've got live streams. We've got exclusive streams. We've got non-exclusive streams. We've got streams with all kinds of celebrities and all kinds of different old shows from the past podcast, the initial incarnation of the show. All of that can be yours.
DEADPIT on Patreon.com. Show us a little bit of love. Give us some money because we definitely deserve it. That Patreon page is so killer that you'll rub your bird to it on a nightly basis. It's that good.
You won't be able to contain yourself. You'll have to jerk your bird out and go crazy. I mean, that's how much content that we have. So much content that it's massive, and it will massively smack you in the face.
You'll play with your bird so much, pretty soon you'll be looking around for somebody else's bird to play with.
Hey everybody, it's your favorite Filipino bitch, Miss Slatko Fudd, telling you about shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts on TeePublic. There are others, but they all suck. And it's the best goddamn deal on horror shirts you will ever see. New shirts, old shirts, all the in-between shirts. God damn it, fools. Go over to shop.deadpit.com. You ain't down with that. You can go to